Can we talk about moonrises for a
Oh,
second?
moonrise. That's what it was. The moonrises. Moonrises. Tell me about moonrises,
Oh,
man.
man. I didn't even know that was such a thing. I thought at nighttime the moon was just out, or it wasn't, man. Like, I had no clue.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious.
You just thought that it was just like there?
Yeah, and that's why I was always confused when I saw the moon in daytime. I said, what is that guy doing out here in the day? And it makes total sense that we're all in orbit, all of us, the moon included. So, like, of course he rises and sets, bro. I'm serious about it.
Did you take astronomy?
No.
Astrology?
No.
What is it?
I didn't take
Astronomy,
either
right?
of them. No. But yes, it's
That
astronomy.
is so funny. What were you doing,
My mom
man?
was always like, the stars, yeah, blah, blah. Learn math, science, do chemistry.
She's like, the stars aren't going to make you
Physics.
money, Peirce Walker. Your stars aren't the
Science.
money maker.
Math.
You need to be a doctor. You need to be a lawyer.
She was
Your
like, be
mom.
my plastic surgeon. Give me
Oh
good
my
deals on
gosh.
plastic. She was like, Mom, I that turns me off more than anything you've ever said. So, no thanks. Yeah, so moonrises, though, for real, they are crazy. Now that I realize what they were, and I never feel like I've ever experienced one truly, it was like for the first time, and it was awesome. And our friends were so fun, and they all went howling at the moon, and I just saw them. I said, oh my God, I want to be a part of that. I have to be a part of that. I took off. I was wearing slides. It was hard on the rocks. We all made it, and it was fun. It was what a great night. What a great trip. We just went on a trip. But moonrises is I just discovered them on this trip. That's the only reason I bring the trip up.
On our way down to Canyonlands, we were in the middle of nowhere, and we were a good amount of time into our trip, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And but we look off to the left, and rising to the east, I had to think, rising to the east of us was just a beautiful, big, yellow moon.
Big yellow moon.
And it looked huge, and it was glowing, and it was so yellow.
Awesome. And then we were driving
Pierce was
after
freaking out,
watching
apparently.
it.
It was his first time.
It was. I was like, holy moly. That was crazy. That moonrise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then I got distracted as I was driving. I looked back over at the moon, and it's small and white up in the sky. I'm like, what? Like it doesn't stay big forever. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're in orbit. So it gets like further away and stuff. Like it's close and it can get far, like orbits. They get jiggy with it.
So that's just the sneak peek of Canyonlands, which we'll be talking about next podcast episode. So if you want to hear it, stick around.
Stay tuned.
Stay a while. Pop up a chair. Would be happy you stayed. Yeah, we'll do another podcast on that, and it will be sweet for lots of reasons. Funny stories, obviously. Beautiful nature, hard times, good people, just all around good Sondersites trip.
Great Sondersites trip. Just a great trip. Great trip.
Good
in
one.
general. With that podcast coming out next, we would like to also announce that the podcast, Sondersites podcast, will be having one episode per week rather than two, what it has been.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Terrible news. But it's good for everybody involved because we want to spend more time research and development and making products and getting our store better and a lot of other ideas and things that we're trying to pursue for Sondersites in the next year and future. So anyways, we're just going to do one podcast a week for now. So we are only doing one podcast a week now, and it is going to be season 2.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we're going on season 2.
Yes, this is the season
damn.
finale.
Well, let us tell you something exciting that we just discussed and just talked about and just decided. There we go. This is the end of season 1. Complete.
Done.
So yeah, next episode will be, or next season, this next episode will be one podcast a week. It'll probably be a little bit longer. We're going to try to make it more creative and more fun and see what comes out of it.
Yes, I think it's going to be a very fun and interesting season.
Sondersites, the show.
Season 2.
Season 2. It's going to be awesome. And because of that, again, it's just going to take more time. So we just want to do one a week. And yeah, we have very busy lives. We're trying to get ready for a move to the East Coast and have a lot going on in personal lives. And so we just want to take a step back and disperse our time elsewhere for the time being. So yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, you is me and I is we.
You is who? Me. Okay.
Yup.
So.
Wow. Last episode. Special. The special episode.
And it's all about your answers. I'm the questionnaire here.
Oh boy. Wow. Okay. Nice. If it started with a rhyme, I'm all for it. Give it to
All
me.
right, well, let's get started.
All right.
Yeah, I literally thought of this question right before the podcast because I was trying to figure out questions that were on the same level of the questions that Trevor asked me in the last podcast. This one has to do with your imaginative state.
Oh boy.
And I think it's one of the many reasons that you remind me of my nephew Golden too. He's a young buck in this world.
What is he like?
He's 4.
I'm so glad that I remind you of him.
Yeah, like in like the creative, imaginative, like wild spirit animal out there, like doing their thing.
Oh boy.
Anyways, the subject is imaginative though. And being a videographer, you have to be imaginative in the way you depict the scenes and the certain angles and lighting to depict emotion and things like that. And regardless of work, but just in general state, you're also always thinking about ways to make money or how can this make you money and all. You're just a very imaginative guy. So how does one be more imaginative in their life, as in me, like, or anyone, I guess? Yeah, just how does one become imaginative in their life?
Wow. Great question.
Thank you.
The first thing that actually came to my mind was just asking yourself the question, like, what else? It's like, oh, you buy a GoPro, and it's like, okay, well, what else can I do with this? Or like, what else can I buy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what other things am I interested in? So it's just like, okay, I'm interested in travel. So let me use this GoPro to help me travel. That way I'm going to get paid for it. And so that way it makes more sense. It's like, well, what else can I do from this? And well, I can create a course, like an online teaching course, and teach people this. That's what I ask a lot of the times, I guess, or just how can I make this a reasonable hobby of mine? And how can I make it make sense in my life? Because like what we were talking about this weekend, if it helps me mentally or if it helps me financially, then that's something that I want in my life. Because the busier you get with family and kids and everything, the less time you'll have. So the more you'll have to prioritize your time. But if you can make it a work hobby combo, then you can justify the things that you're doing to provide for your family. So that's my imaginative mindset, is just how can I do the things that I like and make it reasonable for this world.
Wow. That was awesome.
Thanks, man. I'm like, I need to breathe for a second. Where's my
Take
water?
it. You want some of this?
I love some of that.
That is honestly exactly what I feel like I needed to hear, because I feel like you could have just brought it back to like being an imaginative person and getting all like artsy or bringing up some kind of cartoon or something. I could have totally seen you doing that. So I'm glad that was your answer. Like for real,
Yeah.
that was great.
I think another thing to that though is just exploring art. I feel like the most creative minds in the world have been artists, just because they make whatever is in their mind. And so I would just encourage people to make art or explore art or music or whatever, and just be open to trying new things, I guess. And that's what unlocks like your creative state, is when you can try everything and make a good time out of everything, or be satisfied with everything. Then that way it's like food. When you just eat whatever's put in front of you, no matter what country it's in or what's in it,
Mm-hmm.
just trusting people and just taking stuff, then your mind can imagine so much more, because you're trying new things all the time.
Okay.
So if you're just open to trying things, that's how you can be creative.
Well, hot dog.
Well, 2 hot dogs. Who ordered one in the back? Because I gave one for you too. 2-part answer. Sorry. I forgot. I left that part out.
No, that was, well, thank you. That was also great, I guess.
I got you.
Not I guess. That was great.
You're welcome.
I think I would totally agree. And honestly, I thought I was not imaginative, but I think thanks to your presence in my life and to just my exploratory nature, I feel like we're doing decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going good. Okay. Awesome.
Give me the next one. I'm ready for it.
I'm going to preface this question with I suck at communicating. I have. Sometimes I'm good. Sometimes I really am bad. For the most part, I feel like I'm on the poor side of things. Whether that's texting people back, whether that's calling people up that I haven't talked to in a while, whether that's commenting on Instagram, or I don't know what else really. FaceTiming my family, I'm really bad at that. Like I love my family. I love people. I love all my friends. I just suck at like communicating.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that there was this time your brother reached out to me and he was a little bit worried about you. And so his worries stemmed from you not messaging him back like the same day or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, you always message back all the time. I was like, that is amazing. I never do that. Like, how do you do that? So with that preface, how does one communicate better? Whether that is through messaging people back, whether that's calling people you love or you care about, whether it's talking to people in person. I feel like the only one I'm decent at is talking to people in person. And I'm decent because sometimes at work I like to just, like pass people by because I'm tired. I'm at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the question is, how can you communicate better with people?
Yes.
I think it is different for a lot of reasons. I think it is situational because there are some people that I don't want to talk to all the time, and there's people that I want to text me back like right away,
For sure.
And I think it's just meeting the other person's needs and knowing that they are different than yours. I say this, but I'm a pretty bad example because I tell my mom that I'm like, hey mom, you need me to call you like every day, but I need to call you like once a month,
Right.
And so we've kind of like met in this in-between phase sometimes because I'm just like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm podcasting with my friend, mom. I don't have time. Anyways, it's probably about once a week I text her, and then once every other week I call her or my dad. Anyways, so that's something that I know that I could do better. But anyways, away from my parental units, as far as like other people or business or things, like I just see a text and I'm like, I need to respond because they're waiting on me for something, And so I don't know. I also have a lot of time on my hand. You are in a hospital, and so you can't check your phone all the time,
That's true.
So communication, I don't know. Like I'm bad at that too. I want to call my nieces and nephews a lot more, but I end up like hardly calling them,
Amen to that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I saw a video on Instagram the other day, and there was this guy talking to another guy in like an interview, and he was like, how old are your parents? He's like, oh, they're 75. And he said, how many times a year do you see them? He said, twice. He said, okay, well, how long do you think like they'll live? Like 10, 20, 30 more years? And he's like, oh, probably like, I don't know, like 10. So then he was like, so you're telling me you have only 20 times to see your parents, 10 years times 2 times a year. So it's 20. And he says, you're telling me that 20 times is the amount of times you're going to see your parents. And he was just like, whenever you put it into that perspective, I think you take more advantage of that. I want more than 20 times. I want more than that. Anyways, I guess it's just trying to realize how short life is and how much effort and time we truly want to spend on our loved ones. And I think we can all do better at talking to people we like. So like I said, it's hard. It takes time, but it's worth it when you do.
That was great.
Thanks.
There is a lot to communicating, that's for sure. It's like another part of just being a responsible on top of it person of just making sure you get back to people. Is
Yeah.
that
I think it's a sense of like responsibility. I feel responsible and mature
responsible?
and like an
mature?
adult when I
Yeah.
do it. It's like someone checking their emails.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something to stay on top of.
Well, snap.
Anyways.
I just got to be a little more responsible, I guess.
Well,
Communication
you do
is
it.
just responsibility. All
You
right.
button up that shirt and you do it, you big boy.
I have no buttons. My next question is, how do you depend on other people but also be a very independent person? Examples could be, so us moving could be a good example. Being independent but also dependent on other people. Would it be too independent of us to do everything on our own, or is there any kind of dependency that we are allowed to ask? You know what I mean? Like how independent should one person be and stubborn almost of like, I will do everything myself. I do not need anyone's help on anything, versus I need everybody's help on everything. You know, like what's the balance? What do you think is the happy medium?
That is a great question because I am terrible at this, as you know. I'm like, like for stupid reasons, stupid examples. I'm like sitting right next to Peirce and the speaker's off, and I'm like, "Hey Peirce, can you go turn the speaker on?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I can do that. My bad, sorry." And like I just was realizing that I was always asking other people for help when the majority of the time I could do it very easily myself. That was a really bad example. It made me seem so lazy, but
Well, the thing is, I've done the exact same thing too. Like, I've been like, hey, Trevor, you want to get the speaker? I just will sit there until you get up and turn it on, you know? Like,
yeah.
I feel like everybody does that type of a thing, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better one. A better example would be like me having equipment from a video shoot and being like texting Peirce, calling Peirce before I get home, be like, "Hey man, can you just help me real quick? Like bring some stuff in." And most of the time it's like I could have done it easily myself, but just, you know, it's easier with two people. And so it's more of like a team mindset of like we're both doing everything together, so like help me out, and that would be make it easier for me. But then I'm like, Peirce shouldn't have to give that 50% in the first place because it's my stuff, and like I need to do it. And so I need to stop thinking about this team mentality and start thinking of me. And I think that's important for things that you are trying to work on and taking the responsibility of your own projects instead of putting that on other people. I think a lot of people take advantage of generous people these days. And so that's one of my takes on it, is that you should just own up and do things that you can do on your own. But in situations when you need help and you need people, it's okay to, you know, depend on other people. Like having those people that you can count on all the time to help when you really, really need it is awesome.
Right.
You know, if you end up breaking your leg or you get into a car accident or something happens, like you need to depend on people because you can't get out of certain situations on your own. But the easy ones you should do yourself to make you stronger.
Well, do you think you have time to answer the opposite? Because I feel like I lean more towards the opposite of I'm selfish and I kind of do things. That's almost where my poor communication comes into too.
Okay, here's my take on it. I think that being that way and being like, no, I can handle everything myself, it's like good for you. That's okay. But I can see like someone on the other side of it is, hey, like I see that you're struggling and I want to help you. And that I think is considered service, right? Helping people and helping them get through whatever. So the person who wants to help you is receiving those good emotions, good feelings from serving them and helping them out, right?
Right.
But if you deny them of that service, then they can't help you, which makes them sad, and they're not as happy because they weren't able to make you happy. So when I think of that, I'm like, I need to allow people to serve me so that they can feel good. Just like when you ask someone if you can help them with their groceries or something, or ask them if you can help them with something.
Right.
And they say no, then you're like, oh, well, dang, like I was really looking forward to helping that person.
Okay.
So that's how I feel about it. You just need to take a step back and think that other people could really benefit from helping you. And so can you. So.
Okay. So I guess it just not being lazy about it, not taking advantage, but
Right.
seeking opportunities to help around and not be selfish, and also realize and accept when I think when you do that, when you are open and you are doing, your mind is more focused on helping others and experiencing some relief or joy or comfort in some way, some kind of service given, that it helps you be open to service a little bit more.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Trevor, you had some really great answers. I really
Thanks, dude.
appreciate those. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure that they at least were insightful for other people as well.
Well, they were insightful for me too, because that's why I like having these conversations and podcasting, or just the conversations like we had this camping trip. Just with good people, you learn a lot about what you believe and what you
want in life, and
and like your insights, like the things that you have learned over the years that you do want to be talking about and people can learn from. Again, like this service thing, like we are both getting stuff out of this deep conversation. And so, one eternal round,
one eternal round,
just
baby.
goes and goes and goes. So yeah, it was good for me too. So thanks for asking awesome questions.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
we will see you in season 2.
Na, 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 na.
Hey.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So yeah, season 2.
Sayonara. Get ready. Have some fun with us.
See you there.
Deep thoughts and fun times, like always.
Always with Peirce and Trev. Sounder sights. Go. Go, go, go. Go fight win. Bye. I love you.
Adios, amigos.